As in the famous lyrics, everything old is new again. After decades of decline, vinyl records are making a comeback. That's despite the fact that many people don't even own a record player. Here to tell us about this re-emerging industry is Caren Kelleher, founder and president of Gold Rush Vinyl, a hot new vinyl pressing plant in Austin, Texas. So welcome, Caren.
Thank you.
So good to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
So I'm excited. I want to know all about Gold Rush Vinyl. So tell me about it. How did this get started?
Yeah, so I've always been working in the music industry my whole career, but in the past 10 years had been seeing vinyl become a thing again. And where the real revelation came was when I was managing bands. I was working the merch tables and I was seeing these very young fans, 16-year-olds, coming up and asking for vinyl. And I would ask the kids, do you even own a record player? And a lot of them would say, no, don't. I just want to collect it and own music. For them, it was such a foreign concept. Vinyl makes artists so much money, but you have to have the ability to get it made. And the plants around the country were so backed up, it was taking 6 months to get products.
So I've heard that bands couldn't get their vinyl for months. How long was the usual
The stated turn time is 4 to 6 months, but in reality, sometimes I wouldn't get it for 8 months at a time. And If you think about in an on-demand era with Amazon and things that available at the click of a button, you can't ask fans to wait that long for vinyl. I kept thinking, there's got to be a better way to make vinyl. It shouldn't take that long. What if I had a fresh warehouse and brand new ideas and could bring that in and make something happen? And that's what we've done at Gold Rush Vinyl.
So you had a brand new idea, and what was it?
To look at the production models that had been used historically since the 50s and really just flip them around. Use some more modern manufacturing techniques, technology to improve a format that really hadn't been looked at since the 70s. And the result is my team can now do vinyl in 4 to 6 weeks. My team and I talk about the importance of being different by design and to question assumptions that have been made in an industry where people didn't really think about how things had been done for so long. Looking at an industry with a fresh set of eyes, we were able to design a factory that is much more reliable and doesn't go offline and allows me to guarantee fans, hey, we can get you your records in 4 to 6 weeks, not 4 to 6 months. We haven't had to look for business. Word's gotten out. All of our business has been word of mouth in our first year here. And we're really grateful when artists understand that we've identified a pain point that they really feel and are specifically addressing them. There are plants that are still going to do amazing work repressing the Beatles or, doing the David Bowie catalog, big pressings, hundreds of thousands of records. We're not that plant, and I like that we have a niche where we can serve the artists that need vinyl the most.
So I hear that you can even customize the vinyl color-wise?
Yeah, we can customize the colors. My team and I have also developed a way to customize the artwork on every single record and are starting to get into more consumer products like wedding vinyl. We get asked a lot to make samplers for people's weddings. That's a very sentimental moment. They want their song, commemorized on a vinyl record and given to their fans. So we're looking at spaces like that kind of further this idea that vinyl is a piece of memorabilia.
And you said also that there's something interesting you're doing for Valentine's with?
Yeah, so I've been shocked how much waste there is in the vinyl industry. So we have, every time we make a record, scraps of the vinyl that otherwise have to be recycled or thrown out. So we've actually been making art out of them. I let my team kind of play with that, and we've made bouquets, flower bouquets made out of vinyl that people can use for Valentine's Day.
That is fabulous. I'm fascinated because I also heard that sometimes that in the color changes you come up with some swirls and...
Yeah, we've been doing all kinds of crazy combinations. And again, partly because my team didn't know any better. No one on my team had worked in vinyl, even the operators that run our machinery. So sometimes we'll put combinations of vinyl into our machines that shouldn't work together, and they do, and we get these really cool outputs. We had one we just did for the soundtrack for First Man, the movie that won the Golden Globe for Best Score. We did a lunar color, we called it. It was a silver mixed in with clear. It looks like a moonscape.
Why Austin?
So when I came up with this business plan, I actually took it around to a couple cities and essentially interviewed some cities to say, why would my business be good here? And I was blown away by the ways in which Austin, both in the public sector and private sector, are thinking about how to keep the music culture here. How do we serve musicians, create revenue streams that allow them to continue living here as the price of living goes up. And it just felt like every door was swinging open here.
That's wonderful.
I've been blown away too by how many musicians are here of different genres. It's not just, your Willie Nelson-esque singer-songwriters. It's great pop bands and Latin bands and hip hop. I've just been shocked how many musicians are here in Austin that we can serve. We have younger bands coming for whom it's their first time pressing vinyl. They don't know the format. And for them, it feels like getting vinyl made means you've made it as a band. It means you've had the money to invest, you have fans that want to buy your merch. The bigger artists that are coming to us really are in a crunch. They need product quickly for tours or for sudden campaigns that come up. And we're winning those clients over too with our quality, which is really wonderful. And then starting to get bigger jobs out of that as well. And they're coming from all genres of all shapes and sizes. I mean, we've pressed for bar bands that play at little honky tonks here in town, all the way up to Post Malone, who has some of the biggest hits of last year. So it's really neat. Every day, new projects come across our desk that keep my team really excited.
So what do you find personally rewarding?
Working in Silicon Valley for so long, and I had such a great experience working at Google, but I started to get a bit jaded that my job was to keep people on their phones. The music listening experience on your phone is very singular. You have headphones in, you're looking down, you're not really engaged with other people. But with vinyl, it is a really inconvenient way to listen to music. You have to stand up and flip it every 20 minutes, but it causes people to gather around a place together and allows people to participate in music in a different way. I like that feeling a lot, and it brings me a lot of joy even in my own home to have people come in and I say, you pick the records out while I make dinner.
How, as a woman, looking at it from your gender, how has this experience been?
It's a lonely place to be as a woman. There's so few women in the vinyl industry in particular, and across, my work is across three things: startup ecosystem, the music ecosystem, and manufacturing. Only 2 to 4% of venture capital dollars go to women worldwide. Did you know only 9% of Grammy nominees last year were women? And in the manufacturing, very few manufacturing executives are women. So across all three of those, it's pretty lonely. But I think back on it, it's given me such a competitive advantage as a business owner to be a woman, but especially to see opportunities like the vinyl bouquet, or to understand how young girls are buying vinyl, because there's such a big portion of the music buying community, that it's been really, eye-opening for me. The way I get treated sometimes by men in manufacturing leaves much to be desired, but it also gives me a chance to kind of be underestimated and create more of a competitive advantage for my company.
So what's next? What's
Growth.
on your horizon? Growth.
Yeah, so the factory was built so we could continue to grow. We can add 4 more machines. We have 2 right now. So we just really want to continue to make great records and really put Austin on the map as a place that musicians want to go to get their vinyl made.
What would you say to people who haven't ever tried the vinyl experience then? How would you win them over?
Ooh, that's a good question, because there are a lot of people who are naysayers and say it's just a fad, or it's not for me. I think there's just something really special about the format because it's touched so many generations. Even if you're not a vinyl collector or listener, you have a memory of vinyl. It's your grandparents had it, or you've seen it in the thrift store. And I would encourage people just to try it, to have 20 minutes per side of uninterrupted music, where you don't have to think about, what do I program next? What do I play next? I don't like this part of the song, fast forward. But to actually experience an album as it was meant to, in our fast-paced world, it's really refreshing to have that as an option. I love when people bring their families in, and even kids as young as 5. Our machines are very safe. They're automated and have lots of safety precautions on them. But you see all these kids come in, and especially young girls who are learning about engineering. I didn't have an engineering background. I'd never been in a vinyl factory, and I get to do this wonderful job with great people around me. Mm-hmm. It's nice when families can come in and we share that experience together.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We have all the record covers hanging on the wall of records we've done, and you get to see a lot of these things like genre kind of illuminated on this wall to see how many different kinds of musicians and what types of art grab your attention, especially from a marketing perspective. Like, which album covers are you gravitating to?
I'm just grateful to you that you saw this vision of keeping that alive, but also in seeing it go forward in its technological advances and the things that you could do with it.
It feels nice to be handed the torch in a sense and told, like, you can, continue this trend and, continue on the work that's been done before me.
Well, thank you very much.